Hi there, so this is going to be part 2 of the Delphi case. Remember, this is disclaimer for entertainment purposes only. Please use your own discernment, your fact finding, and if the reading's not for you, move on. And what else can we say? Hopefully you've checked part 1 and you understood why it was done, and this is why I'm also doing part 2, not to take away from anything, even though part 1 more or less has the overarching story, you can say, if you understood between the lines as well. In part 1, I asked a couple of whys, and I still want to ask you why. If in this day and age we have face recognition, motion recognition, and there was something else that I thought of. Voice recognition, obviously digital footprints, DNA, relative DNA is very important in this case. How can this not be resolved? I think a lot of you that have questions, the trial is going to make that very clear. But one area where I feel the trial is not going to be able to be justified is actually two things. One, there was 2 main people here, and there was a third one that would have thought it was like there's 2 main people involved, but there's like a third one that would have been down with the plan, if you get what I'm saying, like. And so whatever justice happens, there's been injustice in terms of the way someone has been treated. One second while I move this. And by that, a lot of people, and this is why I was reluctant to release it on subscribers, will say, who cares how somebody's treated? And yes, I can understand when you've done a horrific act, if you have done a horrific act, but there's a justice system in place, right? And even if, as I record this, I don't know if there's anything out there, but even if we get told a certain amount of psychological behavior or impact, it's not what, to the extent of what I can see. It might get covered in the trial. And nothing so far has, from what I understand, mentioned that. And I'm very distracted, I'm very fidgety, I'm very distracted. It's kind of interesting. I think it's because I've got a lot to say on this, and I think there might be more parts. If you enjoy it, I really do need for you to support the reading so that we do more parts on the subscribers. If not, then Patreon is always here. So let's just get some cards out. Remember my whys, yeah? Why can't this have been resolved with a lot earlier, firstly, and taken to trial? Digital footprint, relative evidence, relative DNA, face recognition, voice recognition, whatever, proper DNA. I wanted to say what else, but there was whatever. There's an energy of someone I'm picking up on that is rushed. There's something here where it's kind of like fidgety. I'm getting something about picking at themselves. So I wonder if this is actually the person who is held at the moment. Richard kind of like picking at himself. And by that I mean like when you actually pick and you keep picking, right? You know? Okay, so let's just get into this read. There's something fishy and not distracting about a car that was parked there as well. Before I forget, I also find it weird that I understood the bodies were not found at the point where Bridge Guy was recorded walking. They were found not far, like close by, but to me, I think if there were searches that evening, what time was they found the next day? Because to me, that's a big thing. There are, so here, a quarter of a mile east of the bridge where the girls were X'd on the north banks of Deer Creek. It just says next morning, but that's important. Morning can be anything from the morning until like up till noon, right? And the second reason is also in terms of justice. I've said there's a second person involved. All right, so let's see. These are too many cards, so I'm putting them back. So let me just do something so that I make it clear, okay? Too many cards. Okay. I don't think he's the main person, like, he's involved, all right? He's involved, but, so, you know, I was getting it clearly that he is, he's had hands in, so he's guilty, but there's another person, that's what I'm saying, and that person is obviously not going to be brought to trial, okay? And it seems like Richard Allen's not saying anything. There was a lack of judgment of something on the bridge by the girls, okay? This is also one of the girls had taken, you know, that Snapchat on the picture, which was a good judgment call to do. I think they went to, this was planned. So this is not a crime of opportunity, as so to say. It was planned. And one second. There was luring in this, okay? There was luring. It's interesting. I thought this was the 9 of Wands at first, so I asked for, there was a luring and there was an impatience as well at a certain moment in time. Now, we know that Richard Allen was pictured on the bridge, and we see this here because I was thinking someone's injured, but I know from the recording he's walking with a limp, right? And I wonder if he's had any knee replacement or hip replacement surgery. There was definitely a luring here, and I think there was due to be an exchange. A plan was, because what I'm getting is it didn't go according to plan. I think there was there was an exchange of hands to occur. Something was in hesitance and something did not go to plan. Let me just see. Yeah, this is because it was not expected that both would turn up, okay? I think, you know, there was taken back by seeing one of them with the phone recording. You know, I wanted to find out Richard Allen date of birth, but I can't find it. I keep getting 51. If anyone knows, but please, only if you know. The amount of times I ask for this on large cases and I get random stuff. I'm not sure what that means because I'm not confident in what I want to say. I feel like one of them could have got away. Yeah, one of them could have got away and got out of this situation. Look at the bottom of the deck. But they decided to stay and fight for the other. And the one that decided to stay has the, do you know what? I think there's going to be more evidence on phones or online chatting or something, okay? There's more evidence. This is where I say the trial is going to make it very clear for some of you. There is also more that was left behind, or DNA or something that is going to be made clear, like a footprint or blood. It was blood stains or something there that's going to make it clear. There's something also about cloaked of clothing. So there's something strange that happened around that. So I'm getting that it wasn't directly on the bridge. It might have been further down near the water, and I haven't seen the map. I forgot to check the map because when I did part 1, I was just looking for images of Delphi Bridge, and it, you know, I just went with that wooden bridge, but there was all other bridges as well, and I don't know if that wooden bridge is where they would have been on. It looks really dangerous, so I can't see it being that. It looks like it's about to break any second. But there was water. This was nearer to the water. The one really stood and had a face off. Like one of them, and I think it was Libby in the part one that I was getting, is more of a like, she could be more of like a, I don't want to say mature, but yeah, more of a sensible kind of like protective energy. I'm going to just put these ones back that are clarifiers. No, let's keep them in case I need them. Okay. I don't know how, but there's a female involved here somehow. And she's caused some illusion. Like she knows another female that knows, like they know each other. And she holds a bit of a secret. She holds like a bit of bringing something to light. Yeah, she holds a key that can bring justice, that can bring success and victory. This woman, but I feel like she's hiding. She's hiding. So I wonder what she's hiding. She's hiding the real perpetrator. But she can bring victory to this. And one second. How am I going to get the answer? Hang on a sec. She can bring to light, I was asking, she can bring to light that another person's involved. This female can bring to light someone else is involved. So tell me, everyone, what is this? Who else? What other male is involved? Another male is involved. I feel like this male would have been at the forefront. I don't mean of the plan, but to do what needed to be done. Richard was part of this, okay, so obviously he has some guilt to it, but this is where I believe justice not going to be served. And a more balanced approach of justice is if this woman comes forward with truth. That's the only way. The amount of times we do readings. Okay, so let's see. Do you know why? Oh, hang on a sec. Continuing on. The guy is out again. The other guy is here. There is a car involved. There was a definite choice. Too many cards. Bear with me, yeah, because I like to make sure that they were lured. They were lured. You know, they were lured, and I don't think that this was kind of gone to plan from their side and the other person's side. Bottom of the deck, told to look at the bottom of the deck, the Hierophant. They are part of a society, a cult. I mentioned this in the first read, okay? The person in terms of Richard, other than Richard, I feel could be a bit younger than Richard. So he's not older than Richard. He could be a bit younger than Richard. I think, I hate to say this, so can I just check? Yes, one of them was the main target, basically. And one second. Okay. This is interesting. So the main objective was not to kill, but, sorry, not to delete. Bloody hell. So I've just messed up this for YouTube. Was not to delete, but also it was to delete. So with that, there was an initial, I feel like there was an initial plan and it wasn't to X, but then the plan changed and it was to X. if that makes sense. I wonder if there's one person that was involved has already passed away. Or the main leader of this thing that they're part of. And you know what? I know people are saying Odism, but I get more like it's pagans, isn't it, that like the white, but I don't understand. The girls were white, so I don't understand that. But there's something also here about someone who could be a darker race or something like that. But I'm not sure about that. But like, one second, let me just make sure of something. Yeah, so I think the person who's kind of like the cult leader has passed away. He was involved. Who is that? And I think it's this person. This person at the forefront of it. Richard Allen is the second, is the kind of like the luring. This Queen of Cups is someone who's a bit out of balance. Believing they're right. They could be a Virgo. Believing they're right and it's only their way. Like there's an intolerance of others. They just can't tolerate others. There's an intolerance of others. I want to ask one question before I say something else. Yeah, so I think this is actually Richard, okay? And does Richard work in the farming industry? Not farming, agriculture, like farmer, like medicine. Or it could be a Virgo placement. Yeah, so he is both, Richard Allen is in this sort of energy. He's actually quite a overgiving person. Normally he's quite an overgiving person, but I think he's very set in his ways. I mentioned this in part one, very set in his ways, and very intolerant of certain people. I think he's worked or been connected to like a pharmacy or pharmaceuticals. I think he's got a dog. That's Richard Allen, okay? I'm getting that this could have been the third person in the background, something to do with the car, and they had a few decisions to make then. Let's just see this. Choices, choices, choices. Okay, 1 second. I want 2 more cards. I'm going to ask the question again before I say it, okay? If you're asking me why I picked that up, because there was 2 cards that fell out. One, a card is not the card I asked for, but it gives the meaning of what I'm asking to confirm. So I'm going to do it again, all right? And I've asked this question earlier. I got a no, and I just want to make sure, because the cards are giving also that could be the meaning, but they're not confirming it. It could be the question. I'm not getting that there was a sex thought behind this. But the reason I'm asking that is because I've wondered that. Now, they had a couple of choices, and I think these choices were around, yes, okay, around their bodies when the sunlight was coming up. So like I said, okay, so 1 second. Yeah, I think their bodies were planted wherever they were found. And what I'm getting is that they were planted there as the sun was coming up. It was the next day, which I was saying, how could they have not found them if they wasn't that far away? Their bodies were placed there the next day. They had a very difficult decision because it was starting to come, I think it was in February. I don't know when sunset comes down, but it was kind of like it's getting dark and stuff. And I think they were like at a crossroads. Also, I need to check the whole motive behind this, although I think it's a bit clear what the motive is. And here we have a very difficult decision now, because I've done the Olympics reading. I can't get this bloody gecko out my head. So 1 second, bear with me a moment. Just want to see how it looks on the other deck a minute, because the graphics can help me. Yeah, there was a crossroads because there was an unfulfilled desire here, unfulfilled desires. And there was something blocking the path. There's smugness here. of an intention. And this is where I still think that there could be S energy, you know what I mean? But there was something, like I said, there was a plan gone not quite as planned. And I think it comes down to them noticing there's more than one girl there, okay? And this is where I think there really should be some sort of digital footprint. But there was something desired that didn't go to according to plan. So whether it's the whole thing about what they wanted to do with these girls, remember I said about an exchange coming on, or, you know, being said, and this, you know, it could also, there's like being stuck with the plan not going as needed, and being selfish. There's a selfish energy here. And then we've got the Knight of Pentacles upright. Here we've got it in reverse when I connect it to these cards. This is someone who then gets grounded. We need a plan. We have our plan in place. Somebody has witnessed something, by the way, during the more than one. There's two people that has witnessed something during the at the bridge, and but near a wooded area of the bridge. Remember I was mentioning water earlier. Near the wooded area of the bridge. 1 second. Oh, let's just check it's recording. Yeah. There was an argument or a confrontation that happened. And this was also while, you know, during the time they were waiting for kind of someone maybe to pick them up or something like that. You know, in the next read, I want to get a bit more into Alan. I want to get a bit more into the motive. But there's something that went wrong. And, you know, quite a few people, there's a few energies here. So I think there's more people that were there either walking on the bridge that could have noticed this. There's two people that have definitely seen something that the people there did not see them witnessed. And a confrontation happened while there was also kind of like standing on the bridge, yes, and also knowing, I don't know what, were they due to go back? It's kind of like someone was coming to pick them up and it was getting close to that time. So I don't know if that is true or not, which could mean, if it's a not, it means there's a timeline issue, because I get that very strongly here. So if they say that no, they were due to be picked up 3 hours after the confirmed time of X or time it occurred, there's a timeline issue, because I get it is closer to the time they were going to be picked up than being kind of dropped off, if that makes sense. And there's 3 people involved. There's 2 at the forefront. There's 1 at the very forefront. The luring, the second person. And there's a third person that kind of like would have been involved if he was available, or he's involved in the background in some way. And maybe it's to do with the car. And there could be a distraction about one of the cars, by the way. Like they could be focused on a car that's one of theirs, but the actual car that could have been involved with the two girls, if they did move them, like I mentioned, then it's that person, and he is younger than Richard as well. There is a female that knows, no, there's a reason behind this. It's to do with a mother, a female mother, was one of their mothers, and I don't know why I don't know, they're both blonde, but I'm getting a visual of one of the mothers in particularly. Is there something she was doing not liked or something? Yeah, I think it's to do with a relationship or a connection. I'm going to leave this here. In the next part, we're going to look at motives. There's some part of this that's staged, by the way, and I want to dive into that to confirm it, and also probably go into the police's energy, Richard Allen a little bit, and other people that could be involved, like this person who seems to be someone who's passed on now. And a bit more about the bodies and maybe the planting and that sort of stuff, around sort of maybe distractions, staging. If you enjoyed this, let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe, and whatever else you do would be appreciated if you are enjoying the readings. And I look forward to your comments. If you want the part 3, remember to let me know in the comments, and we can do that, because it might be something that we cover when it goes to trial. I mean, it could be something we discuss. It's definitely sort of the stuff that I discuss on Patreon lives. So it could be something that we can maybe discuss that way as well. So everyone, I hope you, I've not got into the energy of the people enough. I feel there's more around the people that are involved in this. And that's what I want to do in the next one. But I wanted to give you the background. It's messy, by the way. It's messy, it's messy, it's messy, because I can tell from the energy. I can tell from the energy. But there's people that know stuff that could come forward. And, you know, a couple of people, I'm getting told from Spirit, might not feel they have enough or frightened. I don't think these are people of bad intentions. This is not the woman that I said can bring the justice to the case. This is kind of like bystanders or behind the kind of like thing that have seen something. They've witnessed something, and it would really help. But yeah, I also want to look at the police's energy. All right, everyone, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.